Today we are going to work on day 2 of our review for chapter 1 and 2. Remember, there is a quiz coming up on Friday, and it's going to be over everything we discussed this week from Monday through Thursday, okay? As a reminder, we did talk about the rules for adding integers. Sing me the song that we did before. Same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract. Take the sign of the larger number, then you'll be exact. Okay, so that rule tells us same sign, add the numbers, keep the sign. Different signs, subtract the numbers, and take the sign of the larger number. All right, there's another idea we were reminded of yesterday. Read me what it says. Every number has a sign, and that sign is directly in front of that number. Okay, so a lot of times people think it's a minus sign, but if you are subtracting something, that is definitely a negative number, okay? So let's talk about eliminating double signs. When solving equations, integers will not be written using parentheses, okay? So we're trying to get rid of those parentheses. You need to understand the following rules in order for that to happen. We've talked about this a lot before, but when you add a negative number, it's the same thing as subtracting it. So if you remember, a lot of times I'll say when there's a plus and a minus side by side, who always wins?
The negative.
The negative does. So we kind of scratch this out. Over here on that line, I want you guys to write that means 10 minus 4. So 10 plus a negative 4 just means 10 minus 4. Guys, what's that answer? 6 is correct. Go ahead and box it in. Going on to the next one. Once again, we have a plus, a negative number. Which sign always wins?
Negative.
The negative. So when we are adding a negative number, essentially it means we are subtracting. 15 minus 5. Halen, what's the answer?
10.
10 is correct. Go ahead and box that in. All right, now there's another one, and we talked about double negatives yesterday, but anytime you have a double negative sign, that equals a positive. So guys, this 5 minus negative 6, we can turn that into meaning the same thing as 5 plus 6. Justice, what's the answer? 11 is correct. Going on to the next one, 10 minus negative 10. Addison, what should I do? Change those two negatives to a positive. So this means, and you're going to write that on the line, 10 plus 10. Addison, what's the answer? 20 is correct. Any questions about double signs? Okay. Let's move on. Now, we're going to do the same thing with our rules, adding and subtracting, but today we're working with fractions and decimals. Let's look at the very first one. Adam, do I need a common denominator when I'm adding and subtracting fractions?
Yes.
Yes, I do. Very good. Adam, what should my common denominator be? Zion, can you help him? 6. Very good, because a 3 can go into a 6. So, Adam, I'm trying to turn this 3 into a 6. 3 times what number equals 6? 2. Okay, so I'm going to multiply the bottom by 2, and then I'm going to multiply the top by 2. Adam, when you do that, what does this right here become?
18 over 6.
Okay, 16 over 6. And should that be a negative or a positive?
Negative.
Negative, very good. Because that was a negative up there, we bring down that negative down here. And then we're going to do negative 16 over 6 plus 5 over 6. Gerard, do I have the same sign here or a different sign? Different sign, so I have to subtract and take. What is 16 6 minus 5 6? 11 6, and take the sign of the larger number, which was negative. Now, I normally do not allow you to keep this as an improper fraction. However, if you look right here, that one started out improper, so I will allow you to keep it improper. Let's go on to problem B. Class, do I have the same denominator right now?
No. Yes.
Yes, I do, okay. Now, I want to eliminate a double sign. Plus and minus. Who wins? The negative wins. So if I rewrite it, I have negative half minus 3 halves. Same sign or different sign? Same sign, add and keep. Add the numbers and keep the sign. Zion, what would the answer be?
4 halves.
Okay, 4 halves. Keep the sign? Negative 4 halves. Zion, can that be simplified at all? Yes. What is negative 4 divided by 2? -2 is correct. Any questions for him on how he did problem B? Okay, let's go to the next one. Let me have Aubrey help me. I want to turn that first one into an improper fraction. What would -1 3/8 be as an improper fraction?
24/8.
Okay, so you want to do 8 times 1 and then plus the 3.
11/8.
Okay, 11/8. And is this positive or negative? It is negative, so it's -11/8 plus 5/4. Aubrey, what would the common denominator be? 8. Very good. So what do I need to multiply both of them by? What is it? Not by a 4. 4 times what number equals 8? 2. Very good. Okay, so we're going to multiply the bottom by 2 and multiply the top by 2. So if I drop this down, I've got -11/8 plus, Aubrey, what does this become? 10/8 is correct. Now, Justice, same sign or different sign? Same sign, add and keep. Different signs, subtract and take the sign of the larger number. So what is my answer? -1/8 is correct. Is there anyone who would like to help me with the next one? All right, Kyla, what should I do to that 4 before I do anything else?
Make it a 4/1.
Very good. We're going to turn it into a fraction because it's easier to add fractions together, okay? Now, what would the common denominator be? 2. So we're going to multiply the bottom by 2 and multiply the top by 2. Kyla, what does that become?
8/2.
Very good. Keep going.
And so negative defeats the positive.
Okay.
And 8 minus 7 equals 1/2.
Very good. That is our answer, okay? 1/2. Any questions on the fraction parts? All right, the next 4 are all about decimals. So let's look at the first one. Christopher, same sign or different sign?
Same sign.
Same sign. So we're going to add the numbers and keep the sign. What do I need to do with the decimal points?
Move them.
I don't want to move them.
Line them up.
I have to line them up. Very good. Okay, so we've got this first one, 0.75. And he told us we're going to add this. So I've got to put the decimal point here, 1.5. What should I do now, Chris?
Add them.
Okay, we're going to add them together. I can put a 0 as a placeholder here. When you add those together, what do you get?
2.25.
Okay, now 2.25. If I go back to my original problem, it said I need to same sign, add and keep. Add the numbers, keep the sign. So what sign would it be?
-2.5.
It is going to be a -2.25. Okay, let's go on to problem F. Kaylin, same sign or different sign? Different sign. So what should I do? Subtract and take. Very good. So we're going to take the bigger absolute value, 5.35, and subtract 4. Where is the decimal point on a 4, Kaylin?
Right after it.
Right after it. So what should I put as placeholders?
Zeros.
Both of them will become zeros. When you subtract that, what do you get?
1.30. Oh, yeah, -1.35.
Okay, now why is it a -1.35?
Because 5.35 is
You are correct, because the 5.35 was bigger and that was a negative number. Any questions for Kaylin on how she did that one? All right, let's go to the next one. Heather, same sign or different sign? Same sign, very good. Now, if I wanted to eliminate a sign right here, which one would I eliminate, Heather? The plus sign. Okay, so now I'm just left with -3.3 minus 2.7. Same sign or different sign?
Same sign.
Okay, so what should I do with it, Heather? Add them together. Okay, when you add them, what do you get? Okay. Now, is the answer going to be positive or negative? Negative, very good. Okay. Now, do I need to keep it as -6.0, class?
No.
No, just as she just said 6, or -6 in this case, because making it in simplest form, I do not need the 0.0. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Zariana, same sign or different sign?
Different.
Different sign, so what should I do?
Take. Subtract and take.
Subtract and take. 1.65. Do I need to line up the decimal point? Yes, so I will have one placeholder right there. When you subtract, Zariana, 5 minus 0? 6 minus 9?
You can't do that.
Okay, so we borrow 16 minus 9. 7, and what do I need to bring down?
Negative. No, that's it. It's 0. The decimal.
The decimal, okay. Now is the answer positive or negative?
Positive.
It is positive. What number up there can I eliminate?
0.5.
The 0. So my final answer is 0.75. Any questions on how we did the first page? Okay, let's go ahead and turn to the back page. This next page is going to be a bit of a review from kind of what we talked about yesterday with adding and subtracting integers. First one, Lexi, what is 1 minus 4?
3. And 1 minus 4? Oh, yeah.
Just 3?
-3.
-3, because you want to take the sign of the larger number. If you would, please bump it off for someone to do problem B. All right, Christopher, -5 minus 2. -7, good job, because he had the same sign. He added the numbers and kept the sign. Bump it off. Zion, 6 minus -5. What should I do?
So it's gonna be must have positive.
Very good.
Negative, and then it'll be 11.
Excellent. Bump it off. All right, Halen, -7 minus 3.
4.
Okay, how'd we get that?
Take -7 and turn it into double positives. And then 7 minus 3 is 4.
Excellent. Bump it off.
Gerard.
All right, up to problem E, Gerard. 3 minus 12. -9 is correct because he took the sign of the larger number, which was a negative. Bump it off. All right, Anson, what should I do first?
Put the two subtracting signs and make them not positive.
Very good. So now if I rewrite that, I'm left with -8 plus 13. Same sign or different sign?
Or a different sign.
Okay, same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract and take.
So -21.
Okay, are they same sign or different sign?
Oh, it's different sign.
So you want to subtract them, don't add them. Yes, it's +5 because you had to subtract them. Okay, bump it off.
Can you do the same person twice, Adam?
All right, Adam, 5 minus -4. 9, very good. He turned those double negatives into a monster positive. Adam, get us someone to do the last problem. All right, Kyla, 9 minus 17. -8 is correct. How many of you feel pretty comfortable with that section right there? Okay, we've done a lot of review. Now there will be a section just like this on your quiz coming up on Friday, okay? I want you now to talk about number 3 with your partner. Here's what it says. Your friend finds the difference. Is your friend correct? And then explain your reasoning, okay? So go ahead and do this one with your partner. Okay, let's talk about what you guys talked about. How many of you think your friend is correct? Raise your hand. How many of you think your friend is incorrect? Okay, it looks like the majority of you think that your friend is incorrect. Can someone explain to me, what did your friend do wrong? Zariana, what do you think?
She didn't turn that to a positive because 2 negatives were positive.
Okay, very good. So basically, your friend should have turned that double negative into a positive. How many of you got the same idea?
Close.
All right, excellent. All right, for number 4, it says evaluate the expression when A equals 5, B equals -2, and C equals -3. Repeat after me. Plug it in, plug it in.
Plug it in, plug it in.
All we are doing is plugging in numbers where the letters are. Kaylin, what should I plug in instead of B? -2, and bring down the minus sign, and what should I plug in instead of C? -3. Help me out, Kaylin, what do I do?
You turn it into a monster positive, and then that would mean it's different signs, and then you subtract them and feel like.
You are correct, because -2 plus 3 equals 1. Your final answer is 1. Okay? I would like you guys to go ahead and work on these final 3 problems together, and then we'll talk about them here in just a minute. All right, let's see how you did. Instead of -C minus A, I'm going to bring down my minus sign. What should I plug in for C? -3. Okay, I'll put parentheses just so we can see it's a negative. Minus, Chris, what was A? 5. Gerard, what should I do next?
Make the 3 into a positive.
Okay, that double negative turns into a positive, so I'm simply just left with 3 minus 5. Zion, what's the answer? -2. Raise your hand if you and your partner got that. All right, good job. Let's go on to the next one. Remind me again, guys, what do those lines mean going up and down? Absolute value. What can you never have if it asks for absolute value? You can't have a negative, okay? So let's just plug in B. What should that be? -2. Bring down the plus sign. What should I plug in for C? -3. I've got double signs here. Who wins? The negative. So I've got -2 minus 3. Guys, what's -2 minus 3? -5. Aubrey, what's the absolute value of -5? Just plain old 5, because that means it's 5 spaces away from 0 on a number line. All right, the next one. This is where people kind of got tricked up yesterday. What should I plug in for A?
5.
5 divided by, what should I plug in for B? Can I leave it like this? Why not? Because it's improper. I don't want things to be left improper. So instead, 5 divided by -2. Guys, how many times can a 2 go into a 5? 2 times. 2 times 2? 5 minus 4? 1. Now we have a mixed number. So if this became a mixed number, what would it be? 2 and 1/2. Is this positive or negative? Look right here. 5 divided by -2 is going to be -2.5. Now here's what I just heard.
Wait, I thought if you were multiplying or dividing, it would be a positive.
No, if you divide a positive by a negative, your answer will always be negative every time.
Oh, I can't see. That's just a.
All right, so I heard some people saying -2.5. Technically, -2.5 is the same thing as -2.5. However, this is not the answer I would be looking for. Does anyone know why?
Those are the fractions.
Correct. If it starts off as a fraction, I want it to end as a fraction or a mixed number. So here's the deal. For your final, it is going to be multiple choice, okay? So probably in your multiple choice section, if there was a problem like this, you could have 2 answers there. If you had these 2 answers, -2.5 and -2.5, which answer would be the correct answer? -2.5, because you need to make sure you go back and look at the original problem. If it started off as a fraction, the answer needs to end as a fraction, okay? Now, your quiz on Friday is also going to be written as a multiple choice one to give you practice for what your final is going to look like, okay? Tonight's homework is going to be final review number 2. There are 10 problems, and this is found on Big Ideas. Remember, you need to write the original problem, show any work, kind of like we did in our notes today, and then box in your answer.